Thank you so much, fellas.
It will be quite
Desk.
vocal, but I think it'll be quite theatrical as well, Alex. We're going to bring something to the table, yeah?
I think there's going to be a degree of amateur dramatics. We both have experience.
Exactly.
And we're going to collaborate that into what is a domestic brawl. And so much on the line. The analyst desk have covered a whole lot of it, but LG looking to kind of twist the knife that already sits in MIBR. Phelps already found themselves a nice quick 2 frags, and Lucas was trying to keep things equal. He's got pressure from both sides now and rather finds himself in a bit of a tight spot. No team to bail him out, and Phelps finds his third.
Well, here we go then. It is going to be the advantage MIBR on the T side. 3 kills for Phelps, absolutely true. Nekis will do what he can here with Steel. Exchanging blows, most of the damage though being focused towards the Luminosity player. You can see Phelps has them locked in tightly here towards the jungle, but not for long. Nekis will take him down. They have got a kit available, but no smoke. Nice little flank coming in towards that vent, but a very strong smoke towards Palace, Alex. That does make things interesting.
It's completely locked him out. It's going to leave it all down to Taco. Just waiting on the edge of that smoke. Fallen's closing in there, holding it. It does have to be Fallen's first on the scene. He can't hit the shots. The bomb's defused and the smoke saves the day. Nekis finds the last one. And that is a Luminosity round 1, despite Phelps starting oh so strong through mid.
3 kills for him. A very nice A split coming through. It was looking methodical. It was looking clean. But that's what I've been saying about MIBR for so long. They're so good at getting the initial part of the round under their belt. It looks so well coordinated and put together. But as soon as it comes down to the final few moments, that's when it can collapse. Yeah. Great job from Luminosity. I don't think that was more of a mistake from MIBR. It was more Luminosity just doing a great job with the smoke.
What do you make of this, Henry?
Force buy coming in. We remember on the old patch, just before we get into this, the Orc still as powerful as it was. Cold Zero going down quickly. And what do I think of what, Alex?
Well, we just saw second round. We see an AK and an SG picked up by MIBR. Nades are at a minimum. We do see 2 smokes, 2 flashes, and a HE. And already Nekis is going to throw out one of his own. He's holding rather aggressive towards the amps, supported by Steel. Bullets connect by Phelps, and Steel can't quite find the second.
So this is all about trying to steal the round away. Like, ideally, you do not want to fire off any of those AK bullets until you absolutely have to. Mac 10s, you really want to do a set piece here, Alex. You don't want to be going into the default. They've done a pretty decent job here. They've got a couple of kills, but ideally, if you're going to buy up in these rounds, you want to be aiming to win them, obviously. That goes without saying. My point is, you want to give yourself the best possible chance, and having some sort of default into a pretty underwhelming B play doesn't seem to be the one. They got locked out by smoke. My advice when you got those sort of rounds would be, let's go for a default to start, wait for aggression, bait out some utility, full execution with the Mac 10s taking all the covering fire, and at that point the AK swings out of Palace. That's my ideal way to approach it.
It sounds like a dream scenario. Of course, a big flaw in the plan that MIBR brought to the table was they lost the head of the snake right at the start.
Exactly.
Cold Zera, he buys an SG and is beheaded before the team can even gather ground.
It's a difficult one to watch, but MIBR, that means they have to take the eco now. They'll be on deagles, no armor, no nades. Luminosity, this is quite a big game for them. This, like you said, a derby, right? It might not sound like a big deal on paper, but it actually is, especially in this Brazilian scene where MIBR are supposed to be the talisman of the community, right? They're supposed to be showing how it's done. And right now, their counterparts are catching up with them. Furia right up there, Luminosity. They might not be there as a team right now, but they've certainly got the talent to take these guys down in the best of 3.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, we've had this domestic battle for Denmark for some time. Astralis hold the top spot. MIBR had put them in a similar position. They truly were not only the best in the world, best of their region for so long, and were the bar set for. Nice little connection with the Deagle before he gets caught by Steel on the eco, but it's a good start from them. They're farming with the SMGs. They've got 4 alive. They'll have a little bonus round coming into the 4th. The point I wanted to finish is that MIBR, their authority's being questioned now. There are other teams, the young talent have caught up, and now it's a question of maintenance, improvement, or just swallowing their pride and letting the new take the mantle.
And another group stage exit from MIBR, it wouldn't be good enough at this point. And it feels like the old formula, it's not really working anymore. We thought we're getting the band together, we're bringing Phelps back in, we've got everyone kind of looking like it's going to be sharp. Taco's there now with his new role, he's going to be given more responsibility within the team. And yes, they've had some good results, but overall, I'm still underwhelmed. I still want to see more out of this squad, especially the likes of Zeus coming back in as well.
I'm going to read the names to you. Cold Zera Fur, Fallen Phelps, Taco, Coach Zeus, 2019, an average of 5th to 6th. It doesn't...
It's just not right.
They don't combine. It doesn't make sense in your head, and yet that is the reality we live in. Everyone's catching up, Or perhaps they're slowing down?
I think it's a bit of both. The proof's in the pudding if you just look at all these young guns at this tournament alone. How many 17, 16-year-olds that are here that are lighting it up and is looking so good without that quote-unquote experience we always talk about in the analyst desk, right? These guys got the pedigree and trophies under the belt. The game is evolving, especially with the changes. I think we got a bit of a wireless issue. This is one of the flaws of the wireless gaming these days, I guess. If a battery runs out, you forget to charge it, Alex. It can't be an issue.
I mean, if you're a pro gamer, you use a wireless mouse.
Has anyone got any double A's? I need... and again, they're checking the TV remotes right now, unplugging them all, working out how they can plug that back in. It's a classic.
Triple A's were the worst because you never had triple A's lying around.
It. And you can see that they're searching the backpack now.
Oh,
where's the Duracell, man? I swear we had some here. It's got to be around here. Why didn't you charge your bloody mouse?
Did you bring your cable? No, man, it's wireless.
You got that nice pink one. You didn't even charge it. That's too much.
I do like that there's a real pink peripheral storm taking over
the new wave. Here we go. So this is the battery. So that's
actually a weight. Is he taking the weight out?
No, so I had that as a home. I guess we can't really talk about brands or anything.
No, I have a similar one. Yeah.
But yeah, that's maybe it is the weight.
It is. So they come with an additional weight you can add and
I didn't even know
away.
you could get the weight in there.
Yeah,
so I've been playing with either the heaviest or the lightest set.
I've taken all of it out. I like a nice little light.
I like it light as well. This seems like a whole thing.
So while they're doing their whole thing, I wanted to bring up a point that I think is going to be really relevant throughout this series.
Okay.
Mr. Boltz, he's played under the majority of this roster.
Yep.
He was kicked out, spat out.
A few times.
Came back stronger, as the Counter-Strike cliche continues.
Sure.
But he really did come back stronger. It looked like we talked about experience. Inexperience was the word thrown around and pinned to Boltz when he was departing.
Indeed.
What is now the MIBR roster. He now finds himself with an opportunity to throw these guys, down and out. I mean, that's a lot of power to possess. It's the other way around, man. Yep. Okay,
click it in. Lovely stuff.
Looks like we're cooking.
So the pink mouse, not really doing its job, it seems. Not happy with the color, perhaps. Didn't suit the aesthetic of the day. Wasn't suiting his mood.
I mean, most days for me are kind of. I think pink could.
I just throw it across the room at this point. Get rid of that.
Were you ever a peripheral thrower?
No, I've talked about this before. In my old parents' house, I had this one wall in front of me that was like solid concrete, so I knew I could get away with punching it. And I ended up like at one point in a darker time when I was like 16, 17, and I was an angry young man.
Are pumping through your veins.
All that testosterone, you don't even know what's going on.
No.
And if I'd lose, I used to think I was the best player in the world. If I ever lost a clutch, I'd punch the wall so hard, and I almost broke my wrist once. I thought that's probably the end of that. Never done it since. So once I really got that close to hurting myself, I was like, that's the end of the anger. And we haven't seen a good table smash in CS for a long time.
It's been a while.
It's been about 2 years we've had a good one.
Do you know what? You weren't there, but when we were at the analyst desk in London for the Face It Major, we got to hear a fantastic kind of a retro rage. It was fanatic. Keyboards hit walls, Henry. It was so dramatic. And we're in. Here comes the drama. Fresh off the press. Looks like the mouse is back in action. We're into round 4. And I said bonus. You do see those 2 MP9s for the CTs.
Absolutely. We'll see if it works out for them. Taco's gone very quickly out of the palace position. He's actually got through, fallen with the AWP. A fast approach towards that A-bomb site here. coldzera is watching for the flanks towards the underpass. CT is losing numbers dramatically. It's going to be a 5 versus 3. Like he said, though, they have the lack of firepower coming into this round, but it looks very clean so far for MIBR. Is that going to hold on? We'll see. Taco does bring another one back, and it's just the MP9 in the AUG. Just to reiterate one more time while we have a moment, won't have too much action. This is the old patch. Yes, everyone's talking about the changes to the AUG. We are still on the same patch we started yesterday with, so it still has the same values and variables as usual.
Yeah, so don't panic, but the changes have come in, and it's a pretty dramatic nerf. I've got some of the numbers, but we'll talk about that when we have more time to fill, because at the moment it is going to be just Nekis and Steel trying to keep hold of their weapons. Full set of utility, Kevlar, and a kit for Nekis. So despite the fact that his SMG may be feeling a little useless at this point, it's going to be... Actually, oh my god, he can get fallen here. That's the AUG down. Can he pick it up? He can.
Well, I'm not sure why he wouldn't try and trade that frag out, the teammate in Palace there. Surely try and deny the AUG being taken away.
That's gone so well.
Yeah, so he's managed to get an AUG. They had plenty of money to buy anyway. As you mentioned, it's a very loose term now when I say bonus round. It's difficult to really quantify what that really means these days. It just means you've had the greatest start you can. You fended off the force buy. You go into that first gun round, and you still have SMGs. And if you win that round, you're in a great position. If you don't, you just need to make a dent in it. You just need to get 2 or 3 kills. They've done that. They got 2 kills.
And stolen AUG.
Stolen AUG ways. That's exactly what they had to do. And as you can see, it's a full gun round still, so they haven't been wounded too much from losing that one.
Bomb lingering towards mid, rather solo, and most of the ground is being covered by the double Fs. You can see them in towards underpass. It's going to be Fur and Phelps to hold hands and go for a fragging mission. 3 to Phelps' name so far. He's going to look to extend that towards Connector. Already the smoke starts to clear. That was an opportunity and traded by this partnership, and the trades keep coming. coldzera, quick to keep things level. things start to calm down, and we do see a very heavy lean from the remaining MIBR side on this assault towards A.
1 minute 10
Bomb's a bit late.
It's a very quick round here from Taco. I like that. He's still going to be rocking with that Krieg. It's Henny and Bolts now. Henny, a very fast, aggressive sniper. We'll see what he's able to do. Oh, and Bolts, they can't do much at all. Fallen with the AK-47, clotheslines him in CT spawn. And Henny, lovely shot there. That's the wallbang towards Coldzera and the bomb going down. Player towards Palace. He can definitely win this. A very talented sniper.
He's quick. If they step into this line of sight, they have to assume he's going to hit the shot. They have to peek together. They have to use utility. They have got a Molotov and a nade. And oh, look at the movement from Fallen. That was perfect.
That was scary.
Just as Henny looked away.
That should be his chances shrinking at this point. We'll see whether he even wants to go for it. The money will be low now. He's hoping an opportunity arises where they walk into the crosshair almost. You can see so tantalizingly close. There is a player on the other side. They're trying to get intel themselves. That gives it away. He hits the wall bang, of course. Takes Fallen down to 10 HP, but surely that's him retreating towards CT spawn.
I mean, I think that was his chance, right? Fallen gave him a shot. The fact that he didn't fire a shot for so long meant that there was paranoia. People that had to jump, they had to check, they needed the info, needed to clarify where had Henny gone in the last 25 seconds. He had stood still. He did connect the shot. Not able to make it the 1v1, not able to kind of push where it hurts. Of course, he had a smoke. That 1v1 becomes very winnable.
Yeah, the fact the smoke goes in the bomb and he's already tagged Fallen, the problem is he doesn't have that information and he doesn't know where the second player is. It's very common for, in a 2 versus 1 like that, to have both players in the same positions. They could have both been spawned. He knows he maybe done damage to one. He goes for a full defuse, maybe gets another kill, but it was very difficult to win that round. And that's why I suggested maybe consider saving, but on a 2-on-1, you can't blame him at all for going for it. As we get into round number 6, MIBR starting to claw the way back in now. It should be the eco from Luminosity is the replay of that lovely shot. A lot more of that to come, let me tell you. There's some great snipers on the server right now. Fallen versus Henny is going to be quite the battle. Fallen, the old master, but I would say in terms of raw mechanical skill, Henny might have him like bested slightly, just in terms of what he can do in terms of the skill ceiling.
It's, you know, it's Donatello or Michelangelo versus Shredder.
You mean Splinter?
What's the rat called? Splinter. Yeah, I mean, it was just about before my time. My cousin was really into it. He had Power Rangers. Shredder
was
he was the guy with the sword hands.
Yeah, he was the enemy, the villain.
Yeah, the metal samurai fellow. And we're in. It is just going to be one of those kind of. I mean, okay, here we go. Casting lesson, please, Henry.
Go on.
When someone got a couple more frags and didn't have to, you know, save the weapon like Neck is, he's got himself a Deagle and a Kevlar. What do we call this round? This is
this wouldn't even be a partial buy.
Partial buy?
This wouldn't even be that. This would just still be an eco for me. You've spent $700 pretty much, and a couple of players that have a bit more got Kevlar. It's a partial buy, I'd say, essentially when they have 3 smokes, couple of flashbangs, and they have a clear objective how they want to win the round, right? There's still a chance. Sure, they can still win these rounds because they're talented Deagle players, but it would take something like magnificent to happen. There's no real set tactic in mind.
Just hoping that those Deagles connect, and one does. Henny catches. Helps off from the surprise corner, and my goodness, Taco, he got boosted up and gets 2. Nice work from Henny. Shut them down and actually continuing to make things just a little bit awkward. Fallen is going to be stabilizing now, and Lucas, he's left alone in the kitchen, finds Fur. They've made this into a 1v2. Deagles versus a full buy from MIBR. They're keeping it competitive. Unlikely to be able to turn this one around, but let's see if Lucas can shut us up.
He'll have to do something quite remarkable at this point, Alex. Unfortunately for him, Fallen's looking very sharp. I have to say, I've kept my POV on him throughout this round. He's hit some beautiful shots there, so that does not bode well for Luminosity. Like I said, that's going to be a great battle to follow. Not much separating them in terms of raw skill. Henny, on his day, is amazing. That's a problem. Fallen, pretty consistent at this point in his career. Henny, I'm not so sure. I haven't cast him for a while. Maybe at the beginning of the year I saw him. He was looking lights out, but I need to see it at these big tournaments and these big games. And we're going to round number 7. Another gun round here, but no kits and bare bones utility for the CTs. Fallen will approach towards middle. He's got the Molotov towards the window. It doesn't actually go down where he wanted it to, but still no one there to challenge. Neck is towards short, though. He gets his clock cleaned, and that's going to be an opening kill for MIBR. No problem at all.
Wow. Fallen taking a leaf out of Chris J's book from yesterday, holding W, charging, and getting right under the skin of Luminosity before they can even establish. Neck, as he gets to his spot, he's gone. And now that gap has to be filled for the majority of this round. 1 minute 20 still on the clock. And a heavy lean. Look at the ground Fur has managed to gather. It does have a huge gap ready to exploit. I say that, but Henny is coming from behind through mid.
It's a bit of a stalemate right now, but it's the CTs that need to work for a kill. Fur trying to sneak his way up, but Fallen is just hitting absolutely everything right now. This is a beautiful display. He really has come and pulled out all the stops so far. Great teamwork from MIBR. The alley-oop with the Molotov enables coldzera to get the kill towards that bomb site. Bolts will go down, and surely Steel and Lucas, with no kits, no utility now, won't have much of a chance. If we Steel, who's holding towards jungle, I believe, as the bomb goes down, and he is smoked out, Alex. Not really much to be said about this.
I mean, MIBR, they've handled this whole round beautifully.
Yes.
They have heavy A presence. They give Fallen the time in order to catch the rotate off guard. He does exactly that. Fur gets admittedly caught a little bit off guard, but everyone else, I mean, they're Molotoved out of position and unable to frag.
What I love about that is most of the more aggressive snipers, right? If you're thinking about your Simples, for example, like that kind of echelon, your Oscars, for example, they won't go window every single round due to the fact that it's smoked off, right? It's a common position where the Molotov will come in, the smoke will come in there. So there'll be some rounds, if you feel like they're going to be changing things up, they've gone for a double AWP setup, you can just do that standard smoke towards middle, rush up towards short with a couple of bits of utility. They might not necessarily be checking it because there's so many different aggressive CT setups. That's what Fallen goes for, the bit of the Hail Mary play out there. Runs up short, manages to push through, get a really clean shot on player on short, and that is completely discombobulates the CT defense there. Love that from Fallen. Big play. Lucas did what he could on the bomb side, but it wasn't quite enough, and they will have to take an eco at this point. So some CZs, they got a couple of HEs maybe for the A ramp as they send 4 players for a bit of a stack. I don't think it'll do a ton of damage. If you're smart on the MIBR side, you're not going into choke points until at least 40 seconds of the rounds gone by.
Makes a lot of sense. Should be another open and closed case for the MIBR boys.
You never know, Luminosity. Honestly, they've got some of the scariest eaglers I've ever casted. It's unbelievable some of the things they do with this weapon.
So much power in $700. This is where we need to get a sponsor that has like a phone for $700, and we go, so much power at $700. Also, like the XOX.
With gaming mode,
fully
enabled.
You know it.
Every time.
Steel, though, he has an opportunity. Timing might not be in his favor. Taco's got a very good idea about this one, but if he just swings, it's going to... Oh, this is going to be a nightmare. Shadow, he saw it and can take the frag. Nice work.
That is why, like, on the defaults of this round, like, I always say to one dude, just hold the bottom of the steps, because that's such an awkward choke point. But they should be recoverable. I don't think that's a big deal. It'll be coldzera. They'll bring the frag back in their favor, but there is a low HP player available. That's him himself, and they've actually got the advantage here. Fallen, blind, of course, just takes his head off. He's not missing anything today. He's got in that kind of godlike zone where you just feel like everything's going in your favor. Shots you don't even expect to land that is going straight towards their head.
He's grinning from ear to ear. He's got sunglasses on.
Oh, I know what you mean. He's going bad Fallen right now, and yeah, he's certainly not looking like a good boy. He's taken everyone down, and that's going to be round recovered. 3 versus 1 with Bolts. Desert Eagle, former teammate, will be trying to do what he can. A little bit of damage inflicted, but I think that's about all he can do. There we go.
Have to accept that one. This is a solid T-side coming out from MIBR. T-side Mirage, it's evaded even the very best. Yeah. I use Astralis as an example, but there's many out there of really good teams who, given the fact that many consider Mirage to have, you know, it's not necessarily the most innovation-driven at this point in time.
Sure,
but
absolutely.
Good teams can struggle on this T-side, and yet still bread and butter's looking good for MIBR.
It really is. I'm liking the nice basic game plan they've got going on, and the thing I really want to touch on right now, I love the psychology of Counter-Strike. It's one of the things I don't think we get into enough. When a timeout is called like this, you know they're kind of floundering a bit, right? Their CD side is not going the way they want. They have to make adjustments. How are they going to make this one come back in their favor? They've given up 5 rounds in a row. They have cash here, but if I'm Fallen, right now, he knows they're trying to adjust. He wants to throw things around. He wants to change the pace. He could just bring in a really fast B execution right now. He could just throw the defaults away and know they could be pushing towards middle, or he could sit right back, not even in a default, just waiting for any CT mid pushes. I'm really interested to see what he thinks is going to be the best port of call here.
Let's have a look. We're jumping in. Does look like we're going to be seeing aggression towards B here, Henry.
This will be the B execution. That would be my call at this point. That's the best possible way just to kind of really shut it down. Maybe they're going to try and show aggression here, but we'll see how it goes down for them.
So the question remains about what Henny and Bolts do with this position on ramp right now. They are pushing up ramp. I know we're looking at the T's, but keep our eye on this. If Bolts turns this corner and finds nothing, this could come tumbling down.
So yeah, we got those 3 players with the bomb. right now, they're going to be setting up their smokes, as you can see. We have Fur and Phelps. They're going to boost one player towards the window, and like he's not going to be active here. Phelps doesn't need to come online until they execute towards B. He's holding off the rotations from the vent. This is the B execution we called, and once this goes in, watch out for that player Phelps. He's just making sure that there's two players on the B bomb site isolated, and they get no backup once this execution comes through.
So it is all on these two men then. Steel and Nekkes, they will not have help. The cavalry will not arrive. Nekkes, you have to hit this shot. He sees the Baron have fallen. He's getting a bit of a sneaking suspicion. Doesn't hit the first, forced to back away. Taco, first contact and does fall. Nekkes pays a price though. Deploys a bit of a smoke, and Steel's already found another one. This is starting to come crumbling down. Nades have already taken Fur down low. And Steel repositions. Where's Phelps? Where's Fallen? Fallen makes his presence known rather loudly, and now Phelps is about to do the same. No, Lucas catches him, and that is all over. This B take has not landed on its feet.
They didn't do that with enough conviction, I'm afraid. It didn't seem like anyone believed in the execution. No one goes through. Like, if you've committed all of your smokes like that, I don't care if one player's gone down. Holding up and being stifled in that position is the worst place on the map. You've got to get through. You've got to jump out. You've got to trade those kills, and they were way too tentative, unfortunately. Like, it was a really nice call. Like I said, that's exactly the call they had to make. It was a good one. Phelps is in the position to shut down the rotations as well. It just didn't go well enough. The smokes are there, and I think they got held up at some decent counter utility from Luminosity, but they had to push through it. They couldn't afford to go back, because the reason they can't go back is they have no vision on A ramp, Palace, middle. They don't know what's going on in that position, right? So they've really got to just go for it. And Fallen did what he could, some great shots there. Nice idea, good call, just didn't quite stick the landing on the final commitment.
I love it when you say you can't stay there. You guys, you've got to push, you've got to commit. Yeah. When I find myself saying that to my matchmaking games, we all run out and get like, full-on sprayed down by one player.
That's it, but I prefer to go down like that than sitting there doing nothing and just like
go down swinging.
Yeah, at least you gave it. You all committed and stayed with the plan.
This is very aggressive from Steel. Oh my goodness, he's not even going to get one, but he does get a boatload of information, a face load of utility as well, as it's going to be thrown towards his teammate now, Nekkes. He has to do more than this. He can't just get one. coldzera already finds his way in, and if at first you don't succeed, try again.
That's more like, you see what I mean? Get stuck in there together. You're brawling. You're trading frags, Alex. That's Counter-Strike right there. That's how you get through. The MAC-10 cracking things open, and the heavy artillery follows it up. Bomb to be planted, and MIBR. Fallen said, right, we're doing it again. I don't care. We're gonna do it properly this time. I don't care if it costs us around. You're going in together. This time it really works out for them.
That's leadership for you, because it's when something has just not worked, when something fails, your intention, or rather intuition, isn't to do it again.
Sure.
This time, of course, a blazing success. And I mean, if I was to ask you why, it was just the fact that they all were committing. And
the fact that CT pushed through the smoke initially.
Quite work out.
Yeah,
Steel fed them away in.
To be fair, but that's exactly why he did it, because he's not expecting the same call again. They just had a 5-man commitment towards B, right? Logic dictates they won't do it again, so he can probably get away with a cheeky push towards B.
And have all that info.
Exactly, so that's what he's gone for. But this is what Counter-Strike really is, like a game of chess at times. When you've got two great in-game leaders kind of fending off against each other, Fallen is aware they might be expecting that. They might just be leaving B a little bit weaker than usual. So that's a really strong call from him. And this is turning out to be a fantastic game. I'm enjoying this one so far. From a tactical point of view, it really is quite an exciting prospect.
It is good. I mean, this round plays out differently. And correct me if I'm wrong. If Steel gets one / some damage on a second there, that feels different.
If he got one, I think they would still trade and commit. But yeah, it would have been a different outcome for sure. But money available on either side here, Alex. Orbs as well, and coldzera quick towards that connector.
And there's no smoke there. He could take a fight. No one's going to be presenting themselves. Lucas on CT, Henny and Bolts, they do like to play an aggressive ramp setup, and you can see them once again adapting to it. This time they're going to have company with 3 towards middle. Unquestioned mid control for MIBR as well.
This is very good. If you get players set up like this, you've got Palace, you have A ramp, you have connector, you have short as well. This is what we call mid control, classic mid control on a map like Mirage. CTs, they need to be more proactive.
Who's covering the back of those ramp players?
Steel has pushed towards B apartments. That's about as good as it gets in terms of intel with the CTs, but they have got A ramp presence, so they are playing in front of execution potential. So it's actually okay on both sides, but I would give an advantage MIBR at this point.
See how this one plays out. Lucas, he does have. He's aware he has to watch Palace and Connector. That's a very hard divide of the eyes.
Yes, that's the main issue here.
He has found this position. It does keep him safe from Connector. Can swing on it. Perfect timing. Perfect frag. Phelps gone. Knows Fallen's a presence in Palace. Henny's safe for now, and Bolts is keeping him safe. He can adjust his aim. Fallen's under threat from multiple angles, or at least he was, because coldzera and Fallen, they're having no trouble. First managed to burn one.
This is looking so good from MIBR. No panic there either. They just managed to kind of handle the fact they've lost that first frag. You could see Fallen doesn't fully commit, doesn't jump out the palace or anything like that. He makes sure his team are ready to go. And you mentioned it was Lucas that had that really compromised position. He did very well to even get one kill there. He had the focus towards palace, back of his teammates, and the connector. Luckily, he got the timing correct on one, but with 3 players there, it was never going to be a multi-frag. MIBR handled that advantage they found very early on in the round perfectly. 3 players survive, bomb planted, no risk of losing this, and Nekis, he'll be in CD spawn looking for exit frags.
No, I'm not better than Luminosity.
You might be.
I'm
sure.
just going to do the real blatant, so Reddit don't get upset premise.
Okay, go on.
Okay, I want to pretense here. They are much better Counter-Strike players than me. My question is, when you know you're giving MIBR full control of middle, no one's looking at it, no one's checking it, no one's nading it, and you're going for a 2-man ramp stack.
Yep.
What is your plan if they walk out mid?
Well, they're obviously, like, Counter-Strike is all about gambles.
So that is a full gamble.
You're spread thin, whatever happens. So you think if they beat Rush B, you only maximum have 2 players there, right? So there's always going to be holes in the defense. It's about reading your opposition. But they were playing in front of the smokes. They feel like it's an execution-based game from MIBR so far. Those B executions.
Shut down and ramp push.
So they're trying to be at the A ramp. You can flash over there. If you get an inkling they're setting up, you can flash over it. But they just didn't get that sort of intel. But either way, Alex, this is fast again. Out towards that palace. Fur's already out on the bomb side. Phelps is there as well.
I can't believe it. And coldzera's still 1 HP. He is going to burn eventually. Bolts, he's right next to his former teammate. Fur jumps and connects. Fur down towards Firebox. Now Phelps is in trouble, as Lucas is gone, and this round has gone awry for MIBR in just the blink of an eye. It's a quick adjustment from Fallen, but he can't quite connect towards Dark, and now Taco, he leaps off of Palace and finds just the first. Threats from all over the place, though, and that finds its logical conclusion. We have a 5-7 score in favor of MIBR on what would be argued to be the hardest side. We'll see and take a pinch of salt until we see what LG have got on their attack, but at the moment, a solid lead.
Yeah, just a really clean game of CS, but one thing I just always want to reiterate with MIBR, we've seen so many great starts from them recently. They've had so much beautiful CS, like that infamous North game in Dallas a couple of weeks ago. I was saying, like, oh wow, their Inferno just looked brilliant. They finally got it all together. They end up losing their game 16-14. It's just like they need to hold on to these leads they get. They're not the complete package just yet. It's coming together, but I want to see this just like be sustained. I want to see this MIBR throughout the tournament.
Well, a different look for them now. Let's see how this one shapes up. A very familiar setup in the sense of Fur and Phelps charging underpass. Not such a familiar result, though. Henny, he's leapt out of window, and I think that predictable nature of those two and their adventures through underpass has cost them at least one. Fur's lost his friend. Now he has to operate alone. Nekis towards short. If he just goes a little further, he's going to show his head. Now Henny left alone and Fallen. He was ready to challenge, but pays a heavy price. Fur, doesn't matter. He's managed to get 2 from middle, and that's enough damage. I mean, Lucas, this is a very aggressive challenge. He's actually dropping out of window. His teammates keeping Fur busy, and he manages to catch Steel before going down. Lucas, you've got a mountain to climb now.
He really has, but he's got the Krieg in hand, and that's a bit of a Brazilian mainstay at this point. We'll see what he's capable of. The lineup was there, Alex. He does damage to coldzera as well. Only good for 1, though. AWP recovered, 8-5 MIBR. Luminosity, even with the maximum loss bonus, now are going to struggle. They have saved weapons, though, so there was 7k on Lucas. So he managed to drop the AWP for Henny. I just want to check in on Henny. We called him out, obviously one of the main names of this squad. He's 5-8 right now. On a map like Mirage, that's not exactly ideal. We'll see this. Oh, that's the Astralis smoke he was going for.
Smoke didn't land.
And really not the one. But he did make up for it with that one. I was seeing a lot of that smoke being thrown a lot these days. The right-hand click smoke towards the underpass. So CTs have a bit more freedom towards middle. So sure, he misses the CT spawn, the Astralis smoke, but makes up for it, I guess, towards the underpass.
Yeah, and with aggression middle, which I'm sure that smoke was intending to guise. It doesn't matter. He still got away with it. But yes, of course, hindsight, that beautiful 2020 vision. Where did 2020 come from? Why was it always 2020?
I do know. I can't remember.
Give me that info.
This is the sort of thing I've listened to a podcast on about 3 years ago, and I've forgotten.
Talking of info, do you know how old the oldest cat is? I googled it earlier.
That's ever existed or living?
It's hang on a second. Oldest living cat.
I would say, as far as I'm aware, cats can live up to about 20, so I'd say maybe 30.
Yeah, 26.
Okay.
And his name is, he was born in 1983. He's called Corduroy.
He's 26, he's born in 1983.
Cream Puff, however.
He's older than that, then.
Cream Puff was 38. That's the oldest ever.
You got your information mixed
up. I don't know if cats have like birth certificates, so how do they know? But Cream Puff was born apparently in 1967.
And where does he live?
And he died in 2005.
Okay, that's what I meant, yeah.
Yeah, so no, I told you. So Corduroy's the living one.
Okay,
he's 26 of all time. 38. And that is your cat facts. To unsubscribe, text stop to 44321.
We are going to get back into the next one here. Absolutely true, Alex. And it's going to be round 14. We're going to see if this AWP of Henny really does need to start coming online now. It hasn't had a huge amount of impact. We want to see him really exploiting the offense here and just picking them off one by one. This time he resides towards that step position. We'll see if that's enough. But Taco playing a very passive game, waiting for aggression towards that side of the map. And you can see, even with the max loss bonus, Luminosity is 1 minute 20. They've got, what, 2 smokes from any, a few flashbangs. They are in trouble. They can't fend off these executions fully. We need to see a bit more up front and personal CS here as Lucas holds towards that connector.
He has the expectation. He knows there's something from underpassing. It's not like they're making a secret of this being a habit of theirs. And now the boost. This is a fantastic boost. You can actually catch anyone transitioning towards window. And the edge forward. Perhaps a peek towards connector could come of this.
A bit more.
How much further are they willing to go? Oh dear, is that enough of a step? We don't know. Lucas still staring. He's actually just playing in the wall now, hoping to catch them as they cast their eyes elsewhere. In the meantime, bomb at the top of mid. The smoke's going to be deployed. Henny could lose vision shortly. It actually looks like it's going towards window, and so Henny has a shot. He misses, and he's exposed to Fallen. Lucas, you have to be a hero. He won't be. And already MIBR this round starting to lean in their favor. A split of CTs. It's all onto Bolts on A, and he's already managed to keep himself alive. Does choose to reposition, and coldzera a threat from Tetris.
Yeah, I thought he was going to jump into flames there, but it's Fertz picked up the AWP, and once again, MIBR is looking very efficient in the one-on-one duels right now. That's been one of the main headlines for me. Every fight I'm seeing when it's coming down to raw aim, MIBR seem to be winning, which is weird because Luminosity, most of the time, you give them a heads-up duel, they'll be winning them. They're very, very good in that department.
And, I mean, dare I say it, trades. I was talking to Maniac, actually, coming into this day and coming into this match. He was talking to me about MIBR's trade fragging being one of the lowest of all top teams. The stats are low.
Not this map. This has been a really impressive performance. Remember, they'd actually lost that pistol. They were 3-0 down. They're on the T side of Mirage right now. They're 9-5 up and potentially going to get 10 because we're up against MP9s right now.
I mean, this is a tough shot to hit, right? That's a quick flip. I mean, for Henny, perhaps not. The guy's got reaction times like no one else. But it did cost him his life and cost them the round, 9-5. If MIBR had double digits, I know you're panicking about MIBR closing games, and rightfully so, if history's taught us anything, but a 10-5 half, that's a pretty damn good start for a best of 3.
Yeah, quite the statement. Absolutely true. We'll see whether they can do anything with this final round. It is going to be presence towards the A ramp once again. Lucas with the AUG this time, trying to protect that A ramp, and Fallen comes straight in. What a shot that is. He manages to at least pull one back in their favor, but it is man advantage towards Luminosity. They are, rightly so, going to reposition and hold the crossfires towards the bomb sites. Fallen will throw in the Molotov towards Shadow, flashbang towards Sandwich, and Steel helps himself to a massive part of the real estate here. It's going to go towards T-Spawn and might even find the bomb. He might have made noise here.
It could be enough. Fallen doesn't miss those. He does this time, though. He's low as well. That SMG can shred, and it does. Rips him apart. 3 now versus 2, and he has the bomb. This round is completely turned on its head. Phelps has to be the hero. He has got 40 seconds. He has the information, but they have the bomb and an AWP now in the hands of Steel.
So, 35 seconds, and Phelps 5-11 right now. If he can pull this one off, they'll be in a great position. He does grab the bomb, I believe, so there's a chance to get out of there. If coldzera's got the B bomb site, they've got all 3 players in that position. Do they know they've lost the bomb?
They're about to have... here comes an awkward knife pull out and run. Here it comes. You ready? Like, 3, 2...
Oh, God. Boys, we need to move.
1. Guys, when do you accept it? When do you realize that you've been...
At this point, at 10 seconds, you really do need to get your skates on. Because you're in between nowhere at that point. So coldzera's got the kitchen. This is actually looking very good now. Because coldzera in these sort of scenarios, he isn't... Oh, unless he gets absolutely wrecked by timings, he doesn't miss many shots like that. But now he's going to be surprised. Bolts on the repeat might have him, but it still coldzera advantage. Takes him down, takes no damage in response, and it's been Phelps with a double kill. Really nice stuff there. That's an excellent half from MIBR. This is their map pick, remember, but still, on the T side of Mirage, that's an impressive scoreline. Luminosity need to wake up in the fragging department. We'll see if they can after this break.
see the world. Aren't we all insistent to be small? Subdivide. I'll show you how it's done. There's no sight we go inside. The many is the one. You build your walls with faith in God. They never come around. Then wonder why we all defy the burden to be born. We're coming home with a mission to bring an end to a terrible land. We are here to your mission. We are many of one. We're coming home with a mission to tear you down from your undeserved throne. We can take your conviction. We are many of one. You may call it a virus, but we call it the antidote. It's an answer to silence. The future is here to revolt.
We're back in action. The first best of 3 of our second day of the 9th season. It's the ESL Pro League Finals. Group B lower bracket. MIBR versus Luminosity. It's a domestic affair, and one of them is going home. Both have had their question posed towards them. Who is the best in Brazil? And right now, well, we're going to take a step towards finding answers. I'm Machine. I'm joined by Henry G. We're into the second half of our first map. It's MIBR's Pick Mirage, and we got ourselves a pistol round.
We certainly do, and Luminosity will focus their efforts towards the A bomb site here. We'll see if this is going to be enough.
Oh no, we can't both cough at the same time.
I've got it.
You got it? Thank
and we're
you.
going back into the execution now. We are going to see flashbangs delivered. Smoke's already gone through. It's Fur towards Sandwich, and a heavy commitment here from Luminosity. Henny opens things up, but Fur, he's in a lot of trouble.
Wow.
This is looking brilliant now for Luminosity. That's more like it. This is what these guys are capable of. Getting stuck in, finding their headshots. Let's get that clean sweep. Not quite going to find it, but it's going to be a 4 versus 1 now, but surely the round is over. Taco is dropped. That's much more like it. That's the Brazilian flair I'm looking for,
And
Alex.
speaking of flair, I have noticed, and I'm appreciating these player shots whenever we get them, you aren't seeing a rather, what's the word? Not sober, somber.
Subdued?
A subdued Luminosity. Yes. I mean, this was a roster that you could hear, doesn't matter where our desk was, we could be in a different building, we would hear when they won rounds.
Yeah.
It does seem like they've added a little bit more restraint to some of their...
Reminiscent of, you remember the Immortals lineup, for
yes,
example?
Exactly, very similar.
They screamed every single round. It was a lot of fun. I do miss that in top tier CS, but I understand they've got their eye on the prize right now.
And professionally, you know, there is a lot of downsides to being the loud and rowdy team. We'll see how things continue to play out as they looked for a clean second round conversion. There isn't too much investment from MIBR, and it does look like the expected result is on its way. Coldzera and Taco, I say that, might have to remove Taco from that sentence, and Bolts has done it for me. And just Coldzera, he's been betting on the smoke. He might be able to get himself one here, and he does do just that. So that's an AK and an armor forced to be rebought. I say that as the Galil is upgraded, and so not too much lost for Luminosity.
There we have it, Alex. It is going to be...
Ooh, that's like a nature documentary voice you've got there.
I know. I like to add some gravitas, you know, kind of build it up for the next round. We know the guns are coming out
Hang
here.
on. Let me Google like an obscure, like, African deer thing.
Deer thing.
They've got names.
the African Serengeti.
Yeah, exactly. Hang on.
As we look over these
Antelope species. Here
magnificent
we go.
beasts taking on each other in pure combat.
Well, we've got a proper round here, so I'll come back to the antelope thing. But either way, we have 4 Augs and the M4, and Taco with some hyper-aggression on the CT side. Henny's got some as well, though. Charges out of ramp. Fur does find the connection he was looking for up middle. And so Fallen's on the receiving end. That's the bomb loose on A. They're going to have to commit to this one now. There's no going back. Lucas's Molotov does force him into a fight you didn't want. Now numbers heavily favoring Luminosity, extended by Lucas. He picks up another. Rotating through CT. It's all on cold.
Yeah, but he can win these, Alex. Problem is, no kits, but he does have a smoke, but not for long. Lucas will decapitate him towards CT spawn. A lovely shot. They seem to be well on board of the Krieg train as well, as you would expect. It seems to be most Brazilian teams, especially Furia, bringing that gun through. A lot of other teams are really kind of bringing that through. Just to note as well, we got Nico here. It's quite funny yesterday with the announcement of the AUG being nerfed.
Oh, isn't it good?
The inaugural showing of Nico showing us what he can do with the AUG, and they tagged him in the tweet as well. Like, I love that. I thought that was really cool, but also a bit of a shame.
I love that they're watching.
Yeah, I was even like, well, okay, the first time he's used it, and it's the day they announced it. It's kind of ironic, some would say.
Oh, that's huge. 2 tags.
That is a lot of damage. Bolts and Neck is taking the brunt of it. So that's what the scout's all about, right? You just want to be, you're not necessarily going for the headshots. You just want those pure tags like that. There's a ton of damage. Means 1 deagle shot now, even to the leg, will take down Bolts or Neck. So that's wonderful from Fallen. He'll be communicating that information to his teammates. They can hold up like a gun round now. They want to apply the pressure, run down that timer, and it's up to Lucas to try and find them an advantage here. You can see him playing maybe a little bit more aggressive than usual in this sort of round, but he just wants to see if he can steal a kill away.
I mean, Lucas did such good work with the SG the round prior. Big reason as to why we find them sitting at 8 to 10, the gap closing, and Lucas extends it again, catches Fur, not letting Fallen's initial aggression and initial success bear too much fruit. In fact, yeah, it's all Luminosity at the moment. Just 1 remains as they just casually stroll towards the A site and close it out. So, gap sealed to just 1 round now, and Luminosity, they've come into this T side and converted. That's 4 back-to-back in the opener.
Really good to see Lucas performing today as well. Like yesterday, he had a really quiet game. He actually was on 13 and 21 in their best of 1. Didn't really step up for them. One of the real big names of the squad currently sits at 21 kills and 11 deaths. At the top of the scoreboard for them. One of the key names, and it's great to see him bouncing back after a very quiet performance. And a game they can still win. It was a really difficult half for them, but their T side is looking magnificent right now, Alex. They're really answering back as Fallen goes towards that Palace position. This is what he's known for. These aggressive peaks moving around the map, and it works out perfectly. His former teammate Bolts will be dropped, and that's an early 5-on-4.
That's such a reluctant call to have to give. AWP, Palace, and watch. That's all Bolts can do now as the 90 seconds continues to tick away. His team having to operate with suboptimal resources. One just very, very loosely holding NEA aggression. It's Neckers as he backs away to try and join his comrades. Will it be a mid? Will it be B? MIBR, they stand vigilant. They don't have to move. Bit of a mid presence is about to be shown, though. You can see a little bit of a walk between both Henny and Steel. They got nades for days, and it's likely they're going to use them. Flash to get Lucas out the top. Fur is playing towards ladder room, and actually that could be a bit of a linchpin to success. The smoke's going to completely lock him out, though.
This is an advantage for MIBR, but now only 2 smokes remaining, a couple of flashbangs. Fur, though, this is such a strong position, difficult to flush him out of. Currently watching for the window boost at this point. Bomb's still down in T-spawn, however, but there is connector control from Luminosity. They have Neckers towards the A-ramp, so they'll go for a pincer towards the A side eventually. Obviously still a man down. They don't have a ton to work with here. Fall into the prime position to get a couple more kills. There's his second, and he isn't done just yet. Ball makes its way through, 20 seconds remain. They have to finish at this site, and I'm not sure they're too happy about it.
I mean, Fallen, he's had a fantastic way into this round. 2 unchallenged frags. Neckers trying to find a way back in for Luminosity. It's just the 2 of them. Lucas and Neckers make it just Neckers as it's going to be Cold Zero. Once again, showing up in a big way. 2 in quick succession. We have 11 for MIBR.
Opening pick from Fallen, and that's what you want to see from the top AWPers. Just a different position every single round. Your defaults are being shut down. You're hoping just to hold Palace, have a nice quiet round, no one there, which would be usual, but twice a half, Fallen's going to be there. And if you peek him like that, you don't throw a flashbang or anything like that, you're going to get dropped. Bolts could have gone around the pillars, he could have flashed, he could have done anything, but he was just hoping that it was going to be clear. Fallen takes advantage of that. But still plenty of money for Luminosity here. Not so much from MIBR. You can see a UMP for Phelps as they send a player right in towards that underpass. Fur, known from his aggression, he's got the AK and he's taking matters into his own hands, and rightly so. Takes Steel down, but can he get out?
1 round ago, it was Fallen in Palace. This round, it's Fur in underpass. These spurts of aggression, he gets gets away almost completely uncompromised. He's fine, he's set up, he's got a molly in Palace now, he's disappeared.
And that's because he's got that AK-47. It's so valuable. They're worth their weight in gold on the CT side. You can get those one-tap headshots. You can actually challenge, not with the fear of the M4, knowing if you get a dink and they do as well, you're going to go down first. And it's a classic fair play.
Excuse me. Yep, there we go.
Just let me through, boys. Come on.
Neckis is just staring at him like, bro, I know you got to hold the line, but let me through.
We've got to move. We've got to keep going. So that's a strong smoke from MIBR. Henny won't be able to do much now for a good 15 seconds or so. Just going to be looking away from flashbangs in case anyone does push through that. That's obviously a tendency of the MIBR boys. They like an aggressive push. But Taco, this is one of his absolute classic positions. The B bomb site anchor. Very good at it. Always a safe pair of hands. Won't be getting the big flashy plays, but he'll hold them off. He'll always be good for 1 or 2 kills. And we'll see if he can live up to that. As it looks like the commitment towards B will come through. We'll see if Taco can deliver the way I suggested.
Yeah, it's going to be a flash that forces him off after the first, but he already took Lucas, and he does a good deal of damage to Neckis, but still LG fighting. 30 seconds. This is going to be big from coldzera. He can probably get the second on the transfer. Neckis, he's the only one left. He has already conceded a great deal of health. That's a great connection onto 1. My goodness, 2 now. He's on for the ace. He's got no HP to work with. Phelps' UMP, fortunately, will stop the bleeding before we started a bit of a hemorrhage. My goodness, 12-9, MIBR are starting to run this away.
They really are. 12-9, and that was a big round for them to pick up. Finally, they're starting to whittle away at the economy of Luminosity, who had that great start on the T side. They had a 4-0 start in the second half. Their money was very strong indeed. As we mentioned, MIBR going into that one. The UMP was there. It wasn't ideal. That's the little block coming through. Great display of skill from Neckis. These kills were great. If he gets this third, can you imagine? Right. Oh, that would have been one spicy
into cover.
round.
It's Phelps sweating with a UMP, and no, not again. That's 3 rounds in a row. LG are forced to swallow a bitter pill of a 5v4 with no trade, no damage, I guess. That's a little bit of hyperbole, but regardless. Another early advantage for MIBR on their CT side. It just makes things so much more difficult for Luminosity, right? I mean, this is something that I was put into perspective for me today. When I was learning, he told Maniac told me about the fact that MIBR, their conversion of 4v5 situations, when they lose the first man, is lower than most teams.
Sure.
Because he said it's a solo affair, and the numbers were quite surprising. I mean, it was like something like 25-30% for most teams, a little lower for the MIBR boys. LG, I mean, they've conceded that disadvantage down to 20%, 30% on average, 4 rounds back to back.
We'll see what they can do with this one though. Another situation, they've lost the first pick, Alex. It's got to be Lucas who goes down this time. So the hands of coldzera, the Krieg from Connector. They still have a couple of flashbangs, but no smokes now. They're going to have to just go in, balls to the wall, and hope they land their shots here with the AK-47s. Because he has smoke down towards jungle, Steel helps himself towards the A site. Molotovs all over the bomb site now, jumps up, but he's in a compromised position. Fallen just hitting absolutely everyone right now. Almost got that real nice third connection, but Fallen really is having a fantastic game so far. Let's check out his numbers. He's on 20 and 15. We've only played 22 rounds for an AWP. Trust me, those are big numbers, and he did great work with the AK as well. This guy is doing it all today. It's great to see him perform. It's always an exciting show. The first shot pretty standard for him, but the second just beautiful. It's a great position and good awareness. Takes on that player in the smoke, and that's going to be another eco here for Luminosity. 13-9 down, Tech 9s, PD50s. Now, this is what you would call a partial buy, Alex. They've got the utility now. They've got a few players with Kevlar, upgraded pistols, and you want to see a set piece off this. You want to see the wall of smokes coming in. You want to see players diving out, causing absolute chaos.
A ruckus.
Ideally, the bomb goes down in this ruckus. Absolutely. It's going to be a bit of a brawl here. Back in the day, the Tech 9 era, this would have been a really viable round. These days, if you get the bomb plan, I would say that's a bit of a victory in itself.
I am. The noob inside of me wants to know where Lucas's smoke is going as well. He's lining up what I assume is a connector smoke. Let's have a little follow of that. That's going to be the deep one straight on connector.
Lands in front of the CT side. So there we go. It's going to be Phelps. Oh, doesn't make it the cleanest of kills, but he gets it. Will be punished by Steel for the slight whiff there, but it looks like MIBR have this under control. It is going to be a 4 versus 3. They have not got out of that ramp position. Fallen looks like he's hitting absolutely everything, so it is reasonably expensive so far, but under control. And as long as they win the round there, they didn't let the plan go down. Their money's absolutely fine on the MIBR side. They get round number 14 on the board and just a couple away of taking their first map pick here of the best of 3.
I've got some context for you. You're talking about Fallen and his performance and how good it is. He's had 6 multi-kill rounds in this game, and that's the highest in his team by quite some margin. But credit to Neckis and Lucas from Luminosity. They have had 5 apiece multi-kill rounds, which is actually leading the server alongside Fallen. So keep your eyes on both of them as well. They need to close this gap. This is a must-win. Staring down the barrel of OT first, looking for some early aggression. Will they concede again? That's the first question we have at the tip of our tongue. It's going to be one, it's going to be two. Lucas, he could be next on the chopping block at first. Brave, he does tag him up, but that's the end of his story. MIBR closing in on 15. He's tagged up for the process.
Yeah, so that's another great play there, but still 2 kills handed to him. Still will pull one back, and he's going to pounce on that. Taco, known to be that anchor player, remember, we know that. Everyone who watches this team play knows he's happy to play that bomb site alone. Still will capitalize upon that, get himself in towards that B bomb site, but coldzera has snuck through. He's on the side there with him. Who comes out on top? Of course, it's the big man himself. 3 versus 2 now. Massive advantage for MIBR and no map control for Luminosity. They've got an AK, a Krieg. Lucas, already the walking wounded after his interaction with Fur towards top and middle, and they have a couple of flashbangs, 1 Molotov, and in terms of the A side, Phelps couldn't be in a better position.
Yikes.
He might concede a bomb plant here, but he's playing the bigger picture. He just wants to make sure he's a nuisance. He's pressuring that position so they can't get up there in a post-plant scenario.
There is no scenario where LG clear Palace that deep, and never mind, it won't even become a discussion because Bolts gets caught off by Fallen's patience. He threw a molly towards the apartments and just sat staring at the window exit. And so Lucas, last man.
So you can see Phelps there, he wanted to pull out the smoke. He would only extinguish that if he heard the bomb plant coming down. So he was waiting for it. Like he was just, if it does go through, obviously to extinguish, run through, deny the plant. Yeah. He didn't want to have to waste it if it wasn't required. He can stay there, stay silent, just wait to see how the round plays out. Works out for them, and it's going to be 15-9. MIBR have played a really strong game here. I don't see them giving this one up. But 6 rounds in a row for overtime now. Luminosity on their T side. They had a flying start, like we said, 4-0, but they've now conceded 5 rounds in a row. And at this point, I would say MIBR have got this one locked in, but we will see. It's going to be Bolts towards the A round, but the AK-47 smoked off for now. CT's getting the opening pick once again. Where was that this time?
Taco, another Palace push with the AWP. He also had the spawn. They threw it in his grasp, and now already the round starts to just unravel. Lucas, Steel. They can no longer control the fate of map 1 in this series. Dust 2 is up next. That was Luminosity's choice. But conceding these early fights. It's been about 5 rounds in a row now, and Fallen, he's been waiting for it. Nekis just strolls into his crosshair.
Well, Alex, I feel like we've found our logical conclusion of Mirage, but to be fair, it's not all is lost. It's the map pick of MIBR. It's 16-9. It was a competitive game. They had their moments, but MIBR looked very, very good there. We didn't find Henny at all. He was the player I called at the start. I wanted to see him step up the AWP. He didn't come online at all. Good news is Dust 2 coming up next, which is MIBR's weakest map,